Hey everyone, it's me Bailey and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be my December wrap up. So in December I read 6 books and I contribute this to it being the holiday season. I feel like 6 books is a really good number, especially considering I had such a lot going on in the month of December. Like obviously we had Christmas, I had the end of my school semester, I moved at the end of December, I also got the flu in December as well, plus I was working on Vlogmas and I just had a lot going on in the month of December. So reading definitely did kind of take a little bit of a back seat, and that is perfectly fine, and I am happy that I was able to read the 6 books that I did read. And so I'm going to be talking about those books with you guys today. I read quite a few holiday romances in December just because it's Christmas time. I was in like the mood to read holiday romances. I was actually gonna do a reading like holiday romances vlog, but I ended up scrapping it because I just was not happy with it, and like I said, I got sick and stuff like that, so it just was like I had to scrap that video. But I'm gonna talk about those books in this video and what my thoughts were on them. So let's go ahead and get into talking about the books that I read in December. So the first book that I read in December was 'Tis the Season for Revenge by Morgan Elizabeth, and I really enjoyed this book. I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was what I was looking for, but because I'm not the biggest fan usually of revenge stories, like it's just not my favorite thing. I don't like when people start dating someone to get revenge on someone else. Like it's just not like my cup of tea. But in this story, I feel like the whole situation was just handled really well, especially at the end when our main guy character did like realize that he was being quote-unquote used, but he like didn't have a problem with it because he was like, hey, when we started this relationship, like this was not supposed to be anything serious, so if you were using me at the beginning, then like okay, because like this was never supposed to turn anything. And I felt like he was so understanding of the way that their relationship started, and he wasn't like angry, and I felt like that was really refreshing, and I feel like I hadn't really seen that before. Okay, coming back because I had to fix the lighting because it was just so whitewashed. But anyways, so I was just saying that I felt like it was really refreshing that the main character, like the main male character, didn't get super upset with our main female character because of the reason that the relationship started, because he like knew, I don't know. But I ended up giving it 4 stars. It was a really fun time. I really enjoyed reading it and definitely see myself reading more from Morgan Elizabeth in the future. The next book that I ended up reading was Resting Scrooge Face by Megan Quinn, and honestly I feel like I could have rated this lower than I did. So I ended up rating this 3 stars, and honestly now that I think back on it, I feel like it's more of like a 2-star read. Like this book followed the sister of some of the characters in one of Megan Quinn's like previous books, and it was just like a short holiday novella, and it was like enemies to lovers and also second chance romance, because it was like the 2 main characters, they dated in the past but they ended up breaking up, and she comes back to town from the city and they start like writing these letters to each other, but they don't know that each one is who they are, and so it's just like a town plot to try and get them back together. And it was just okay, like it was okay. But 3 stars on that one, but honestly the more that I think about it, probably more like a 2 or a 2.5. The next book that I ended up reading was A Princess for Christmas by Jenny Holiday, and I ended up giving this book 2.5 stars. I thought this book was just okay. This book was very like Hallmark movie coded, and so basically we have our main girl who is a princess. She's in New York trying to basically help with the family business, show her father that she actually can take over the family business and do the things that he does when she does eventually become queen. And we also have our main male character. He's a cab driver and he is taking care of his little sister after his parents have died in a car accident. And so it gives like single parent vibes, but it's like him taking care of his sister. And I really just was not a fan of our main female character. I did not like her. I did not find her relatable or fun or quirky or anything to read about. I just did not like this story. Like, do I think that if this would have been a movie, like it could have been a silly goofy time? Sure, but I personally just didn't super love this book. The next book that I ended up reading was Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings, and this is the second book in the Magnolia Parks universe. I finally finished this book, so I want to say that I probably started this book back in June maybe, or July, and it took me literally 6 months to read this book because I read like 50 pages and then just put it down and then didn't pick it back up until December, and ended up rating this 4 stars. I really love this series. I love following Magnolia and Daisy and Christian and BJ and this whole series. I just think it's such a fun time because it's very like Gossip Girl vibes, and this book and this series is definitely not for everyone, but I had fun reading it and I'm definitely excited to get to the next book in the series. The next book that I ended up reading was A Soul to Keep by Opal Rain, and this book is a fantasy romance, and I picked this book up because I had seen Steph over at Virgo Reader on Instagram talking about this on her story, and I just was like, I'm in the mood for a fantasy romance, so I'm gonna pick this book up, and I enjoyed it. I ended up giving it 4 stars. I thought it was such a like interesting premise, the fact that, you know, this girl has to go with this like demon creature type deal to save her village, which, and I know that's not like a new premise at all, like an arranged marriage type deal, forced proximity type of thing, but I was just so intrigued in the moment that I decided to pick this up, and I really enjoyed it. It was exactly this type of story that I was looking for, and I'm so happy that I picked it up. I'm not sure that I would recommend it for everyone, but if you are someone who likes monster fantasy romances, then this might be the book for you. The final book that I read in December was Love Light Farms by BK Borson, and I listened to this on audio. I really wanted to get this book in for December. I've heard such good things about Love Light Farms, and I just felt like it was going to be the perfect holiday romance book. And so it was Friends to Lovers, and it followed this girl who owns a Christmas tree farm, and she has to fake date her best friend in order to prove to this like influencer that she runs the farm with her boyfriend. And it's so very obvious from the beginning that they are both in love with each other, but they don't want to like tell the other one because they're both afraid of pretty much getting like rejected, even though it's so obviously clear to like everyone around them that they are like in love with each other. And so it's basically following them as they're trying to trick this influencer into thinking that they're together so that way she can win this contest for her farm that's like not doing very well. And I really enjoyed it. I was playing my Switch while just listening to it, and it really put me into like the cozy wintry vibes, so I really enjoyed reading that. And definitely if you're looking for a cute holiday romance, I know the holidays are over, but if you're looking for like a cute wintry holiday type romance, then I would definitely recommend this one. And I definitely see myself picking up more books in this series and by this author in the future. All right, so that is all of the books that I read in the month of December. If you have read any of these books, I would love to know all of your thoughts down in the comments, or if you plan on reading any of these books, I would love to know which ones you're interested in and whether you think that you are going to like them. But if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more content from me. I'll have all of my social medias linked in the description, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.